I just hit the trail a few minutes ago, and as soon as I did, the skies have opened up and it has been pouring. Woo! It is coming down right now. You might be able to tell in the video, you might not, but this is just about straight uphill. I'm in Western North Carolina right now on a trail that's not very popular. In fact, I haven't been able to find a lot of information about this. Let's check the elevation here. So as it stands right now, 4,800 feet. So fairly high up for the East Coast. Temperature, 48 degrees. It's nice and chilly. But after going up this hill for about 15 minutes or so, I'm anything but chilly. While I was researching this trail, I came across an old name for it that caught my attention. This is known as the Devil's Throne. And unfortunately, I've not been able to find out why the locals call it this. That has piqued my curiosity, so in this episode, we are going to find out together. This is one of my favorite times of the year to hike. I love the cool temperatures. I love the rain. In conditions like this, you have to be super, super careful. Not only because of hypothermia, but for slippage. For an example with this trail, I'm hiking over tons and tons of rocks and roots. And on top of those rocks and roots are leaves. Wet rocks, wet roots, wet leaves. It's a recipe for disaster. So far, just heading up, up, and up. It's been straight uphill. No deviations from that at all. Here's some advice for you all. When you're hiking with a backpack on and you have a rain jacket, right? As you hike, your backpack's moving, it will slowly pull your jacket up. So if you're not careful and you don't readjust, it'll pull your jacket up and all the rainwater will go off of your jacket into the back of your pants. And that absolutely sucks. That has not happened to me on this trip. I'm making sure to pay attention and make adjustments, but it has happened to me more times than I can count. We're still going up, but it's not as bad as it was at the beginning. The biggest difference is the wind. Those winds are howling now. That's weird. I thought I heard footsteps. I couldn't tell if it was in front of me or behind me. I could just hear wet stomping. I know one thing for certain. I am out here by myself. The pullover to get onto this trail is big enough barely for my truck. So nobody else is up here. Well, no human anyways. Do you all hear that? Let's go down here real quick and see if we can see it. Okay, well, I looked. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. Whatever it was, I'm not going to chase down the mountain. The odds are it was a bear. They are very active this time of year. They're gathering as much food as they possibly can before hibernation. That was rather interesting. What do you think it was? Bear? Definitely too big to be a deer. Bigfoot? You never know. As far as the terrain goes, you can see just how thick this forest is. Going off trail would be extremely difficult here. This is how a lot of the forest is here in the mountains. Extremely thick, extremely dense. You'll never hike a straight line, ever. You'll be lucky if you can actually walk in the first place. Oftentimes you have to crawl. I just came across a garter snake. Let me know when you see it. So this little guy is hanging out, and it is 48 degrees. He's not one that I'm worried about. What I'm worried about, not really worried about, concerned about, copperheads, rattlesnakes. They are out here. In fact, this area is known for being like snake central. I certainly don't want to get bitten by a timber rattlesnake, but it's the copperheads that I like the least. The rattlesnakes will oftentimes give you a chance to get away, whereas copperheads, they'll just react. A friend of mine, he lost his thumb to a copperhead bite. It was a juvenile snake and it bit him on his thumb. And today, he only has a nub. With older copperheads, it takes more from them physically to release the venom. So oftentimes it's a dry bite or they release very little. With juvenile snakes, juvenile copperheads, when they strike, they give you every single bit of that venom. We have a trail this way, and we have a trail over here. There's no signage. I have no idea where each goes, and I'm not about to pull out my phone because it's raining so hard. So this looks like it continues up, so this is the way I'm going. I don't want to go downhill, especially if that means I have to come back. So let's go over here. Before I do though, take a look at this rock. Many years ago, I was out with a friend of mine, we were hiking, and it was like foggy, not even raining all that hard. And we came up to a rock like this, we went up and over, and the first step my friend took, stepped here, slid back, fell and knocked his teeth out. That was pretty awful, so you definitely have to be careful with rocks like this. Even if they look like they have like good texture to them, that means nothing. They can still be extremely dangerous. The key is all about your step. You put your weight straight down on your boot, straight down into the rock. You never swish your foot either way. It's always straight down and that's it. Think of it as like stomping your feet. That's the way to do it. And if at all possible, go around the rock. But sometimes you simply can't. Oh, okay. We have come up to a big rock outcropping here, and it looks like over here there's a campsite. Let's see where this goes. Oh boy. Rocks like this, when they're wet, they scare me. I mean, you really have to be careful. I wouldn't go anywhere close to the edge. Not at all. Wow, this is cool. It's like being on the moon with like craters. Every single one of these pockets is full of water. It's unfortunate that we can't see the view from here, because I bet it is spectacular. My question is, for this area, is there any way that I can get underneath one of these rocks? Because it could make a natural shelter, maybe. It just depends. We have more rock outcroppings over here, and it goes off way down there. This looks like we're on some bluffs, but unfortunately, because it's so foggy, I really can't. Ooh, that is slick. Because it's so foggy, I really can't say much about it. Oh yeah. The camera is not going to do this justice, but this is extremely steep right here. If I go down there, I may not be able to get back up. That is where I came from, and I can see a rock sticking out. I wonder if I can't get underneath it. That's what I'm going to explore. Otherwise, I'm going to set up out here somewhere. The fog is departing just a little bit. I can see some of the trees over here and some of the view. We're up here all right. Unfortunately, I can't see like down below us. Over here is where I need to go to see if there's some sort of natural shelter. Wow, everyone. This is awesome. This rock over the top of me juts out about 40 feet. Everything in here is wet, but it's really, really not that bad. I brought a tarp with me just in case I need to set it up, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I'll just have to find something to sit on. Oh, there you go. Found it. I'll sit on a rock, set up my stove right here, and make lunch. That feels so much better. For the most part, I'm protected here. The only issue is that the ground is basically a river. Imagine all of the rainwater, falling off the edge, running over the side, it runs down, it drips down, and like this entire area has a stream of water going through it. So for rain trips, this is not the best location. For snow, it's not too bad. The big thing is that basically I'm dry. There's a drop every once in a while from this rock. That's it. I do not feel any of the rain that's being blown around outside of here. coffee's done. Cheers, my friends. My lunch is a hot and cooked noodle with rice and beef and seaweed soup. I've had this before and it is really, really good. This is South Korean. As far as the weather goes, it's quite windy outside of this area. It's amazing how much shielding that I'm getting because it's flat out raining outside of this. This is not what I expected to find on this trip. I'm going to assume that the Devil's Throne aspect is due to these rocks with this overhang. We have a few more minutes before lunch is ready, so I figured we would talk about gear real quick. The jacket that I've been wearing for this trip is the Interstellar from Outdoor Research. It is an excellent performer. The pants are also from Outdoor Research, and those are the Helium 2s. The chest rig is from Helicon-Tex, and that is the Numbat. Inside of that, I carry my handgun, keys, wallet. I have some extra water, extra batteries, and so on. The backpack is from Arc'teryx, and that's the Alpha 45. That is a waterproof pack. It's super lightweight, and I love it. And everything else you will find in a gear list in the description box down below. It's a shame that so much water comes down from underneath these rocks because where my feet are right now, it is a literal river of water. With this meal here, you can see the steam coming out of it. That's because of the heating element on the inside. It is time to eat. Oh yeah, that looks good, smells good. We have noodles, rice, seaweed soup, some sort of sauce. Oh yeah. I've had some viewers mention to me that anytime that I eat, I say, oh yeah. After someone said that to me, I've noticed that too. I want every meal that I have to be so good that I say, oh yeah. That's how it should be. If you're not saying, oh yeah, something's wrong. It is storming pretty good out there. Luckily, I'm nice and protected here. Nice and comfortable. Some good food, good friends, warm coffee, a river of water coming down by my feet. It's everything I love. When we came in, the trail branched. I wonder where that goes. There's so little information about this trail. I have no idea. And unfortunately, because the fog is so thick, I really can't see anything. I can't tell what the landscape looks like. The trail itself may head off the mountain. It may go to another series of bluffs. There's only one thing we can do, and that's come back again. Next time I will come back for an overnight trip, preferably when it's a little bit colder. With this area flooding like this, it's unacceptable for wet weather trips. It will either have to be dry or cold, one or the other. A few years ago, Susie and I were hiking on top of this mountain above the tree line. Actually, not too far from here. As we got above the tree line, we had this incredible view. Maybe 40, 50 miles away, there was this dark cloud. We sat there, we made coffee, and we stared at that cloud. And within 10 minutes, that cloud was almost on top of us. Not only was the storm moving fast, but it was growing at the same time, so it got to us in no time. So within 10 minutes or so, that storm was on top of us. Before it started raining, you could just see the lightning crack above our heads and just spider out everywhere. There's a part of that trail that forms a knife's edge just like this, and you have to walk right across the top. If you go 2 feet this way or 2 feet that way, you will die. We hit that part of the trail as soon as the rain started. Susie and I can look back at that now and laugh about it, but at the time, it was extremely stressful. This has been a pretty good thunderstorm. I haven't been able to see any lightning. It's just too foggy, but what I'm going to do is finish up my lunch, wait for it to pass by, and then we'll head out of here. All right, folks, we're off. This was incredible. I can't believe that's what we found on this trip. Okay, it is absolutely coming down right now. Being on wet rocks, it's always sketchy. Okay, I want to get off of this as fast as possible. As you all can hear, it's still storming, but it's getting late and I gotta go. Whew. Whoa, that's slick. I am glad to be off those rocks. Wow. It really has been raining a lot with this thunderstorm. This trail is 100% flooded now. It is a big mess. This should be pretty easy hiking. And that's because we're just going off of this mountain and straight back down. Wow. I did not expect this much rain. We were so protected by those rocks back there that I had no idea it was raining this hard. Everything here is absolutely flooded. Hopefully you all can hear me. I know it's raining rather hard, plus the thunder. But I'm hearing those wet footsteps again behind me. I'm not going to spend any more time and go back up, but it's definitely odd. When you're in the forest, you never know. You just never know. 1 year ago, I came out to this area. The locals call it the Devil's Throne. While I was out here, I did have some strange experiences. As far as the conditions go today, it's quite chilly. We're looking at 37 degrees Fahrenheit. The forest is soaking wet, and that's because it's been raining all morning. More rain is on the way. At the moment, at least, it's not raining. Yes, that means I can hike this trail without my rain pants on. That's a win. With the trip that took place a year ago, that was a wild adventure, folks. First off, everything was flooded. It was storming the entire time. Water was just racing down this trail here. And as I was hiking up this mountain here, I started hearing footsteps. Something was behind me and following me. As I hiked up the mountain here, it continued to follow. Once I got to the top, I didn't hear it anymore. But as soon as I started back on the trail to go back, it was there with me. And it followed me all the way down to the parking lot. Speaking of the parking lot, it's not much of one. More than anything, it's a pull-off on the side of the road, out in the middle of nowhere. We are easily 30, 40 miles away from any town, any city. If you were to ask me what I thought was following me, because I never did see it, I ran towards it, again, never saw it. I suspect it was a black bear. Ultimately though, I have no idea. Now, of course, some people believed it was Bigfoot that was following me. Was it Bigfoot? I have no idea, but I will tell you this. Once I got home, I researched this area some more, and there are in fact Bigfoot sightings out here. I have also found some interesting stories concerning this area that tie back to the Devil Throne's name. Once I get up here to the top and we make lunch, I'll tell you about the stories that I've read. They are quite interesting. I could have swore I heard like a screaming sort of sound. It happened twice from over here somewhere. There are no trails out this way. There's absolutely nothing. There it is again. I have no idea what that is. It does not sound like a bobcat. It doesn't sound human either. It sounds weird. I walked back to film a walk past scene. Something is in the woods. I can hear it making footsteps and leaves far off. I have no idea. Unfortunately, we have a storm around us somewhere, so I'm hearing thunder. I heard that screaming sound twice. I heard some footsteps, but now the storm is approaching. I'm hearing that instead of that. You know what I mean? Something is out there, walking. Anytime that I'm out on a trip, far from home, far from other people, people ask me if I ever get scared or concerned, especially when something weird is happening. The answer is no. Just because I can't explain it doesn't mean a whole lot. Oftentimes, what we find so scary is all in here. Without a doubt though, I'm intrigued. As an update, we continue to go up. This trail is not oftenly used, so it's not really all that well maintained. At times, it's almost like bushwhacking. Again, everybody, we are being followed. There is something in the woods. The odds of it being a bear, it's likely. But what are the chances of that happening twice? A year ago and today? I don't know. This is a very steep trail. Virtually no flat, all just straight uphill. As I'm taking a breather here, the rain is coming in. It's light, but it's coming down. I hear it, but I don't see it. So far, the rain is light enough, and there's enough of a canopy here that I don't have to put on my rain pants. I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. Yes, I would be dry from the rain, but I would get wet with sweat. It's a trade-off. Just in case you're a first timer to this channel and you don't know this, I am a Bigfoot skeptic, a paranormal skeptic. I'm a skeptic of all of that stuff. I'm a skeptic, but I have an open mind. I'm willing to take a look at any real evidence, such as with Bigfoot, but do not send me a picture zoomed in 5,000% on some black blob and tell me that's Bigfoot, because it's not. As I'm walking on this trail here, I'm looking for tracks. Human tracks, animal tracks, any type of track. And so far, I've seen nothing. What I find interesting about this, I mean, there's no deer tracks. And let me tell you all, there's a huge deer population here. Animals in the forest will take the path of least resistance, which is a trail. These rocks are so slick. We really have to be careful here, folks. We have basically made it out to the top, and it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's dangerous. This is as far as I'm willing to go on these rocks here. Any further out towards the edge and I don't feel safe. This is a place where if you go off the edge, you die. You know, everybody, with it being springtime, it's already beginning to warm up. It will not be long before the snakes are out on these rocks. During the day, the sun warms up the rocks. The snakes will come out, lay on the rocks, and basically keep themselves warm, even when it's quite cool. In this area, I can tell you all, there are some big snakes. Some really big timber rattlesnakes. and of course copperheads and all that stuff. Here in the mountains, unfortunately, people falling off, sliding off rocks like this is very common. It usually happens every year, a few times. Very sad indeed. To get to the Devil's Throne, we have to come out here. And we have to go over here and then wrap around underneath these rocks. This is not the location to mess up at. One false step, you go down here and you're dead. Now that I've undone the lid for this backpack, on the inside here you can see this bag and also this one. This is a tarp, this is a cordage kit with some stakes. I wasn't sure if I was going to need these or not, but the thing is, I had these at quick access. So below this, I have a dry bag, and this dry bag is protecting everything inside of this backpack. This backpack is highly water resistant, but with this dry bag, it's even more so. The reason that I have those two items outside of the dry bag is for quick access. If I have to set up the tarp in the rain, I simply open up the backpack and those two items are ready to go. I don't have to introduce water to my main kit. That is something to consider the next time you're out for a rain trip. For lunch, my friends, we have chipotle beef burrito bowl, and I also have some chips to throw in it. As it stands, it's chilly. That's why I put my down jacket on. The humidity is like 100%, so every bit of that moisture is just going like right into your hands, right into your bones. But at the same time, it is beautiful up here. I'm hearing thunder far off in the distance somewhere. Yeah, this is a nice place to be. We have our coffee made. Cheers, everyone. I'm sure it's nasty. Let's find out. Oh yeah, that's nasty, all right. As I'm sitting here, I'm staring at these rocks stacked on top of each other in front of me, and all that I can think about are rattlesnakes. I guarantee out here somewhere with all of these rocks, there's a rattlesnake den. Right now, you have a whole bunch of rattlesnakes laying on top of each other, staying warm. They're awake though. We have already had a few days that have hit 70 degrees. 70 degrees and up, that's their jam. That's their temperature. They love it. So they're definitely awake. Luckily, today, it's in the mid 30s right now, something like that. It's definitely chilly. So they're not going to be coming out. But like I said, they are out here. That is freaking amazing. That is from Pinnacle Foods Chipotle Beef Burrito Bowl. This is like being at a Mexican restaurant. I kid you not. That is freaking awesome. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it is raining out there. It's raining enough where it's now dripping off the rocks. Luckily, where we're at here, we are sheltered from the wind. Not that it's terribly windy out there. Interestingly enough, there is a high wind warning in effect right now. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure where it's windy at, but it's not here. As far as the elevation goes, we are at 3,218 feet. According to the watch here, 39 degrees, 100% humidity, and it is 2 o'clock. This is amazing. I will have to tell Susie that I was wrong about this. She actually picked this out for me and I was like, that doesn't sound too good. I was wrong. This is freaking awesome. It is pouring out there now. We will have to be especially careful when we leave here. That one section right there is going to be slick. This really is a cool spot. I mean, we're fully protected from the elements. Now, unfortunately, you really can't camp here. Like, it's dry-ish right now, but in heavy rain, this does flood. All of the water pouring off the top of the rocks, it comes down and basically creates a river through here. There really is no good option to stay here. Now, I tell you what, folks, I'll tell you all a little bit about what I read concerning this area. First, with the Bigfoot stories, there are a ton of them. Nothing recent that I've seen. I think the last one was 2015. Most of the reports that I've seen out here dealt with seeing a large black creature. The interesting note was that the creature had black eyes. That ties into the history of this area and what I've been able to uncover about the Devil's Throne. Apparently, the Cherokee believed that there was a witch that lived up here on top of this mountain, and the witch had black eyes. That's somewhat interesting. That does go hand in hand with like the being that was seen out here, the Bigfoot thing or whatever you want to call it. I personally find that to be rather intriguing. What about you all? To this day, there have been paranormal activity recorded up here. I've seen numerous reports where people stated that when standing on the cliff up here, it felt like someone kind of pushes them towards the edge. After the Cherokee Indians moved out of the area, the folklore continued. And according to what I've been able to uncover, the witch with the black eyes, she roams the forest up here. And as you're hiking the trail, it will feel like someone is watching you. You may even get the feeling that someone is following you, which is, again, somewhat interesting since I've had that experience twice. On a lighter note, I did receive an email from a very nice individual. He was concerned that I've been putting my cell phone in my pocket here next to my heart. He thought that was a bad idea. I don't know, folks. Having that phone up here, in my opinion, is better than having it down there. You know what I mean? If it's going to cause cancer in here, I'm okay with that, right? It's better than the alternative. This is where we have to be very, very careful at. This point on, it is going to be very, very slick. tell you one thing, this rain is cold. It's about 37, 35 degrees, something like that. And this rain here is chilly. That was close. I told you all, this is slick. I'm going down as slowly and as carefully as possible, and yet that still happened. Whew. I had some momentum there. Oh boy. It has been raining really, really hard. As you all can see here, the trail is flooded. That thunderstorm that hit earlier dropped a lot of rain apparently. I need to pick up my pace just a little bit, warm up. My hands are ice cold. I do have some gloves with me, and I can put them on, and I will if I need to. It's like that old garbage song. I'm only happy when it rains. I don't hear any footsteps or screaming or anything like that. Not at the moment. I want to thank you very much for joining me for this day trip back to the Devil's Throne. I have certainly had a good time up here, and I hope you all have too. If you were to ask me what's going on up here, I would say, I don't know, to be honest. I've definitely had some strange experiences. Something has followed me. This goes hand in hand with the folklore of this area. I thought I heard something. Not sure what. I don't know. I can't hear anything with that jacket hood on. You know, everybody, I really like this rain jacket with the exception of this collar. Look at this thing. I feel like Count Dracula. It's gigantic. It's obnoxious. That's what it is. As you all can see as I'm going through this trail here, it'll be overgrown in no time. Already, folks, we've dropped about 200 feet in elevation, and this is smooth sailing for the rest of the trip here. As far as the time goes, it's a little bit after 4 o'clock, and it's pretty dark in the forest today. Up there at the rock, it was really dark. That's why I had that light with me. We were basically up in the clouds. I definitely heard footsteps. I don't know if it's in my mind because of what I've read online, but I definitely feel like someone is watching. Check that out. That is a sweet rock overhang. Let's go over to it real quick. That is really nice. It's completely dry in there. If you were looking for a survival shelter, that's it. Already, my hike up to the Devil's Throne has begun. And let me tell you all, folks, this is steep. I forgot exactly just how steep this is. It is killer. It is so steep and so remote. That is one of the reasons why so few come up here. Another reason why people do not come up here is because of the history of this area. This place has a very dark past and a lot of mystery that surrounds it. To many of the locals, this is haunted. To the Native Americans that were here before, it is haunted. Not only has there been numerous ghost sightings up here, but there have been Bigfoot sightings too. It's because of all of those reasons that I'm drawn to this place. I keep coming back. In fact, everyone, this is my 3rd time up here. With the first 2 trips, I did in fact have some strange experiences. It's raining, folks. It just started. Right now it's really light, but it's going to get heavier. Much, much heavier. I was hoping to make it to the top before the rain set in. That is not going to happen. The reason why is pretty simple. This trail is so steep. Doing it in your rain gear is awful. Even though it's not that warm today, that much elevation, that quickly, it warms you up fast. Tell you what, I should put on my rain gear here. Now that the rain is coming in, it is not going to stop for numerous days. In fact, we have a cold front coming through. Today, it's rain. Tomorrow, it's snow. I could have swore I saw someone standing at the edge of the forest there. It was in my peripheral vision. As soon as I looked up, it was gone. This place, folks, plays games with you. Every single time that I've been up here, I've had strange experiences. We're once again hiking. Hiking in the rain. It feels good, folks. I wish you all were out here with me to enjoy it. Right now, it is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a cool rain. And because it's so cool, that's just one of the reasons why I did not want to get wet. At this temperature, you can very easily develop hypothermia if you're soaking wet. Shields up, folks. I'm going in. This trail, at times, is almost overgrown. And I can tell nobody's been out here in months. You could tell that by the leaves on the ground. They haven't been trampled on. At the same time, look here, no tracks. I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. This place is very, very remote. You know, everybody, thought I heard something. I actually thought I heard something when I was putting on my rain pants. To me, it sounded like a woman's voice, which does go hand in hand with the history of this place. Just in case you haven't seen the other episodes, where I'm at is in a very remote part of western North Carolina. There is only one way into this location, and folks, we are out in the middle of nowhere. There's no other trails, there's nothing. At the same time here, the forest is incredibly dense. There's no going off trail in this. It is simply not possible. Not for a human anyways. What was that? I don't know. The Devil's Throne, everyone. It continues to impress with oddities. Oh man. Like I said, I love coming up here for that reason alone. Those odd moments. Those things that make you question what's out there, I promise you, it gets your heart beating. Yes, it does. We have made it up to the Devil's Throne, my friends. It is foggy and ominous looking. Go this way and you die. Right over there is a 30-foot drop straight down. What makes up the Devil's Throne is a series of rocks stacked on top of each other that are jutting out over this mountain. It really is an unusual formation of rocks. Basically, the way that the rocks are stacked forms somewhat of a throne. And again, it goes back to the history of this place, which is very interesting. Over here is the Devil's Throne. One cool thing about this is that you are able to walk around the side, go across the slick rocks, and make your way to the throne. We will do that on this trip. The thing is, we have to be extraordinarily careful. These rocks are as slick as ice. I mean, seriously, one false move and we can slide off to our deaths. With this trip here, I of course wanted to come back out and see this place, see if I had any other experiences, but at the same time, I wanted to know whether or not this place was even accessible. The hurricane that came through a few months ago absolutely devastated this area. There's no telling what roads are open and what roads are closed. Luckily, this road is open, barely, just barely. It's in rough shape. A good portion of it has washed away, landslides and whatnot, but we can do it. Over here is the Devil's Throat. You can see the piles of rocks on top of each other that make it up. And then again, it's just a huge pile of rocks that jut out over the mountainside. It is really, really cool. Before we go underneath it, let's walk around. Let me show you the top side. Here in a little bit, it will be dark and you all will not be able to see it. These rocks, they are so slick. I'm having to go really, really slow and carefully select each footstep. So slick. Take a look at this impression in the stone. It looks like a gigantic boot print. Right now, folks, we are on top of the Devil's Throne. It sure is beautiful how the fog is beginning to depart the area. Typically that means when you have a front coming through that heavy rain is about to begin. Oftentimes, like the beginning of the front will push the fog out of the way and then it's on. And just like that, we're hearing thunder too. Oh boy. It's pretty far off still, but there is a thunderstorm out there somewhere. Let's get off the top of this while we still can before it gets much later. Plus, when you're walking around on rocks that are this slick, the question changes from what if to when. When are you going to fall? When are you going to slip? Because it will happen. That, everyone, is the dead zone. If you slip, fall, slide, you're gone. Plain and simple. And this here is the Devil's Throne. When doing these adventures, talking about the risks, I'm never overplaying it. I'm not being over dramatic. I'm trying to point out the real risks that face you if you want to do stuff like this. It's the same as going out in a winter storm to do some camping. You have to be prepared and you have to realize the risks involved. We are once again at the Devil's Throne. Now that we're at the Devil's Throne, it is time to make dinner and a cup of coffee. Basically, my plan for this trip was to hike up to the Devil's Throne to see what we experience. We'll hang out here for a bit. I also needed to make sure that we can actually get to this place before I did an overnight trip here. Now that I know that we can access this area, in the future we will come back for an overnight adventure. Anyways, let's boil some water for our dinner, move over to the coffee, and we'll do some more talking. Before I fire up the stove, let me say this, as this just dawned on me. While we're underneath this rock, you may not be able to see the rain coming down or even hear it that well. But folks, it is absolutely pouring out here. I am sure you all have been hearing the thunder, but do know it is coming down. No joke, folks, this is the best smelling coffee in the entire world. This is a chocolate coffee and it is unbelievable. A viewer sent this to me. I don't remember the name right off. You know who you are. Thank you so much. Folks, this chocolate coffee, mind-blowing. This location, mind-blowing. Hopefully, this will be mind-blowing too. What I have here is a chipotle beef burrito bowl. Lime, rice, black beans, corn, roasted peppers, and onions. Oh yeah. What on earth was that? I wonder if the camera picked that up. I have no clue what that was. Super bizarre. Okay. Okay. Dinner here is fantastic. The site here, I am protected overhead. Unfortunately, everything down here is beginning to flood. There's so much water pouring off the top of the rocks, basically making its way underneath these rocks, that this is now beginning to flood. This here really is good, folks. It has been said that eating is the key to survival in cold weather conditions, and it's true. Today it's a cool day, it's not especially cold. As I was sitting here, all of the sweat's evaporating, I'm cooling down. As soon as I started eating, the digestive process kicked in. Heat is generated, and all of a sudden I am toasty warm. As it stands, everyone, it's raining heavily out there. There is a thunderstorm out there somewhere. I can hear the thunder. Every once in a while I can see a flash. I mean, it is really, really faint. It is so foggy, it's absorbing all of that light. I'm definitely not in danger of a thunderstorm being here anytime soon. With that being said though, the ground here, everything's just flooding. Lots and lots of water. Something that I want to do is share with you all a Bigfoot sighting report from this area, which I found to be pretty interesting. It's interesting how many reports there are from this area. So according to this, an individual is out hiking by himself. He's hiking up here to the Devil's Throne. He says here that he was 3/4 of the way up the mountain, and he was walking through like the thickest part of the forest that was really overgrown. And he saw something standing at the edge of the forest. It says here, after looking at this thing for about 10 seconds, he realized that he was looking at the side of its face, and it turned around just like this. And as soon as it did, he took off running down the mountain. That's when it began to chase him. At the same time, it was screaming. Ultimately, he made it down to his vehicle and he took off, and he says that he will never come back to this area. This is just one report amongst many, many, many. You may be wondering what I think about the Devil's Throne. If you've been around on the channel for a while, you know that I'm a skeptic of these things. I'm interested in them, but I'm a skeptic. I haven't seen anything to say this place is haunted, or Bigfoot is here, or anything like that. I can say though, I've had some interesting experiences here. Experiences that I cannot quite explain. I've been followed by something in the forest that I haven't been able to see. I've heard footsteps chased after them, haven't found them. I've definitely had my share of audible oddities. I guess that's the way you could say it. And with that, there's enough reason to come back for a 4th trip, a camping trip. After that point, I may take like all of the parts, put them together for like a movie sort of thing. Like a 3.5 hour long movie. Yeah, it's an idea. Is it a good one? I don't know. I think so. I'm rambling, sorry. Cheers. The coffee is getting cold. The night is getting on. Already it's about 7:30 or so, which is not terribly late. But we have to be super, super slow, super careful to get off of this rock, to get off of this mountain without getting hurt. Obviously, the rock is slick and all that stuff. At the same time, because of all of the flooding that we've had recently, the trail, for the most part, has been washed away. It's heavily rutted. Oftentimes, you have to walk on the sides of the trail because, like, in the center, it's like a foot or 2 feet deep. But you don't really notice that because it's full of leaves. So, like, sometimes it's super deep, sometimes it's not. It really does throw you off because you don't know what to expect in the center of that trail. So, without a doubt, we have to hike slow, we have to hike careful, and that is what we're going to do. It's going to take a while. All right, everybody, I am ready to go. The hike is going to be slow, it's going to be wet, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Let's go, folks. My friends, it is so foggy. There's no way the camera does it justice, but it is foggy for sure. Whew. Very slick, folks. Very, very slick. I love these nighttime adventures, everyone. You all probably can't see much. The truth is, I can't see much more than you. I don't think I mentioned just how much rain is supposed to fall tonight. The forecast states up to 2 inches. By tomorrow morning, it is going to switch over to snow. We'll get a couple inches there, then it's gonna get cold, and this weekend it's gonna snow again. By the way, everyone, I don't think I mentioned this, but I have a new rain jacket. My daughter brought me a US Navy Gore-Tex parka, and so far it is sweet. As far as the hike goes out of here, it's slow, it's slick, but it's going really good. I have not heard anything. Heck, I'm not sure if I could hear anything at all. Even if you were with me right at my side, I'm not sure if I could hear you speaking. It is so loud in this forest. The rain banging off of my jacket, the hood on my head, the rain on the leaves. I don't know, can't hear anything. I don't know. In a way, I'm glad to see that nothing has changed. Still hearing things, feel like I'm being watched, hearing footsteps on occasion. It makes me want to come back real bad. In the future, my friends, I will be back and I will spend the night up here. That noise that I heard up at the Devil's Throne, I just heard it again. But I'm not sure where at though. It is definitely up here. It's behind me now. Whatever it is, it's up there. Basically where I came from. I don't know. I have no idea, folks. What I do know is that it's definitely time for me to get off of this mountain. It's time for me to go home. Spend the rest of the evening with Susie. By the way, we had a great time with our daughter. I mentioned in the last overnight adventure that she was coming into town for a few days. She has leave, or had leave. It was so good to see her. She is, without a doubt, a woman now. We sent her off to the US Navy as a child, and now she is a woman. We are very proud of her. I still have that feeling like I have eyes on me, but I haven't heard anything in a little while. The last thing that I heard was, I don't know, a half mile back up there. When you're out looking for something creepy, oftentimes you will find it, and it's nothing more than your imagination. I did hear some things though. You can't make that up, and I'm pretty sure the camera's caught it. Welcome to the Devil's Throne. This is an episode that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and that includes myself. This is a very odd location. Strange things happen here. This is my 4th time to the Devil's Throne over the years, and every single time I've experienced some odd things. Already, I've had 2 experiences just coming up the mountain here. I'm not alone up here. Something is with me. I hear footsteps, I drop my pack, I take off running, I can find nothing. I make it back to my pack, I'm hearing footsteps again. This, my friends, is the dangerous part of this hike. One false step and you will slide off of this rock face to your death. This large rock structure, everyone, is the Devil's Throne. Basically, it's a series of rocks stacked on top of each other, jutting off and over this mountaintop. It is extremely cool. At the same time, because of the size of this, it offers a ton of protection. So, when you're underneath this gigantic rock, it could be storming outside, and underneath here, you will stay dry. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be water present, though. This entire area will flood. We are protected from the rain above us coming down, but there will be a lot of water coming through here. Not like a river or a creek or anything, but without a doubt, a stream of water. In the end, everybody, this is such a cool place, and I'm excited to spend the night here tonight. It is going to be a long night, an interesting night, and the weather is going to be potentially extreme. I'll tell you what, everybody, with it getting so late, I should go ahead and make a cup of coffee. Once I have the coffee made, I'll tell you all a little bit about the Devil's Throne and what I'm doing here tonight. It is coffee time. Oh yeah. My friends, cheers. This is a good cup of coffee. A good cup of coffee on a very cool afternoon. Right now, 49 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little chilly, mainly because of all of the moisture in the air, but it's chilly, but it's not cold, and I'm thankful for that, especially with the weather that's moving in. This is the current forecast for tonight. Showers with thunderstorms possible after 4 a.m. Some of these storms can produce heavy rainfall, patchy fog after 11 p.m. Windy, south-southeast winds 22 to 32 miles per hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Rainfall amounts between 1 to 2 inches. That, everyone, is the official forecast. We also have a hazardous weather outlook in place. A powerful storm system will impact the region this evening into tonight, bringing heavy rain and severe thunderstorms. The main threats from these storms are going to be damaging winds and tornadoes. They were not calling for this earlier. A strong tornado or two cannot be ruled out. Additionally, locally heavy rainfall may result in flash flooding conditions. There's a wind advisory in place. Strong to severe thunderstorms may redevelop Sunday afternoon, but the confidence is low. So, folks, that is what is coming in tonight going into tomorrow morning. When I left the house a few hours ago, there was no mention of tornadoes for this area. If I had seen that, I wouldn't have come out. I love storm camping, right? But I don't want to camp in a tornado. Nobody does. That's dumb. I would love to see one, right? But I don't want to camp in one. Because it's so late and because we're here, I'm going to stay. Already it's about 7 p.m. So in just about 20 minutes, it'll be dark. Very interesting, my friends. Very interesting. My plan is to camp underneath this gigantic rock. I do not have a tent. I do not have a tarp. It's this rock and nothing else. I will be staying in this seat here. I have my Swagman roll so I can stay warm. That is my plan, everyone. Tonight, I'm staying at the Devil's Throne. I didn't want to just, turn in for the night and go to sleep. I wanted basically to stay up all night long to experience whatever it is that I'm going to experience at the Devil's Throne. I have been coming out here for years, and every single time I've had a strange experience. I've always wanted to stay the night, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay the night and basically wrap up this area for a long time. This is a very cool place, but it is so far away, so out in the middle of nowhere. It's difficult to get to. The roads out here are jacked up from the hurricane, from the winter. So this is the one shot. I'm going to stay the night at the Devil's Throne, and what happens, happens. I will document it and share it with you all in this episode.
I wish I could tell you all what that is, but I do not know. Like, it's like just out of my reach as far as my hearing goes, you know? It's like one of those things where like I feel like I could tell what it was if it was just a little bit louder, but I can't. It sounds weird though, that's for sure. Not once today have I felt like I was alone up here. When I was hiking up the mountain, I heard footsteps. I heard that strange noise. I hear it again now. This is part 4 of the Devil's Throne series, and likely it'll be the last part. I wanted to come up here, spend the night, see what happens, and I will share with you all my experiences. Already a bit strange, you know what I mean? I'm not disappointed at all. The legacy of the Devil's Throne, everything lives up to it, you know? Concerning the history of this place, in part 1, part 2, and part 3, I have gone over all of those details, and this is what I had to say. Most of the reports that I've seen out here dealt with seeing a large black creature. The interesting note was that the creature had black eyes. That ties into the history of this area and what I've been able to uncover about the Devil's Throne. Apparently, the Cherokee believed that there was a witch that lived up here on top of this mountain, and the witch had black eyes. That's somewhat interesting. That does go hand in hand with like the being that was seen out here, the Bigfoot thing or whatever you want to call it. I personally find that to be rather intriguing. What about you all? To this day, there have been paranormal activity recorded up here. I've seen numerous reports where people stated that when standing on the cliff up here, it felt like someone kind of pushes them towards the edge. After the Cherokee Indians moved out of the area, the folklore continued. And according to what I've been able to uncover, the witch with the black eyes, she roams the forest up here. And as you're hiking the trail, it will feel like someone is watching you. You may even get the feeling that someone is following you. If you haven't seen part 1, part 2, or part 3, I recommend that you do. Those are pretty wild episodes, not only because of the strangeness of the Devil's Throne, but also because of the weather. Every single time that I come out here, the weather's extreme. Crazy thunderstorms, severe flooding, ice, and more, you know? I mean, it's always crazy up here. And what do you know, folks? I'm out here again tonight, and it's gonna be crazy by morning. I do have to say, everyone, since I've gotten to the top here, I've had a sense of dread weighing on my shoulders, so to speak. I could just feel it. Maybe it's the atmosphere, maybe it's the conditions, maybe it's the weather coming in, I don't know. I think the best way to describe it is like a weight on my shoulders, a level of stress that I don't normally have, you know? I made it to the top and all of a sudden I just started feeling it. And that does go hand in hand with the legacy, with the history of this place, with the mythology, whatever you want to call it. This place is just so unique. The Native Americans that used to live in this area called this the Devil's Throne, and they did not like it up here, that's for sure. It feels heavy, very, very heavy. You know, everybody, this place is so quiet. So quiet. I mean, that does make it a little bit eerie. All you can hear is the wind roaring up above, and that's it. Already, everyone, the temperature is dropping and the fog is getting thicker. It is almost white out right now. You really can't see much of nothing. About 10 feet visibility, that's it. Anyways, my friends, it is just about time for dinner. For dinner tonight, it is the new Mountain House pizza meal. I cannot wait to try it. Dear Lord, please don't let it give me heartburn. Amen. I'm not gonna lie, folks. This is actually really, really good. It may give me like grade 10 heartburn, but as far as flavor goes, it's awesome. It's really creamy, creamier than I thought it would be. I mean, it's pizza-like, but it's more like a pasta bowl, kind of. Yeah, it's great. I would definitely buy this again. I am actually shocked at how good this is. Most of the time, Mountain House, meh, you know, better than average, but not great. This is great. Look at it. Now respect it. I am still hearing that sound. It's pretty loud too. Closer. Unfortunately, it's too foggy, the rocks are too wet to go mess around in the dark. I have to stay right here. Basically, I'm hunkered down for the night. That is so weird. I mean, what the hell is that? I have no idea. But I certainly don't feel like I'm alone out here. Whatever it is will have to come to me because there's no way that I can go to it. So come on down, let's go. Let's tango. Weird. I know what you're thinking. Might be thinking. Do I think it's Bigfoot? Do I think it's a ghost or something? Until I have more evidence of ghosts or Bigfoot or something like that, I'm going to chalk it up to a mystery. There's just not enough evidence. I don't know enough. There's something out there, something going on that can be easily explained. That's what I believe. I personally do not believe in Bigfoot. I'm not even sure if I believe in ghosts. I don't think so. When I was younger, my friends and I, we would do quite a bit of ghost hunting in abandoned buildings and houses and stuff in this area. We recorded some interesting, like, EVPs, but we never really saw anything. Never captured any video or pictures of anything strange. Without a doubt, we heard a lot of weird stuff. The weirdest one that I can remember, there's two actually. One, we were at this graveyard pretty far from here, not even close. Anyways, it was late at night. We were taking turns like up at the graves, and each of us was like recording our own EVP session. And so I'm standing there, and it's dark, really dark. I have no lights on. There was just enough moonlight for me to be able to see like the silhouettes of two large tombstones in front of me. And as I'm standing there, you know what I'm saying, you know, if you're out there, give me a sign or something like that. Over the audio, there's a voice that says, "I want to see you." I mean, folks, nobody was around me. Nobody was even close. I have no explanation. I have no idea. The other EVP that I caught that was really, really strange took place at this large abandoned building. I'm not going to say what it was. Anyways, we were in like the lower level, and I'm with a whole group of friends, and these friends didn't necessarily get along very well, right? So it's like some of my buddies, and they just did not like each other. And so there was two, Chris and somebody else, and I can't remember who right now. Anyways, they were kind of like arguing back and forth. Don't even remember about what now. But like while they were arguing, I was doing an EVP thing. There was this voice, and it was like over the top of everything. And we did not hear this when we were there, but it was like this laughing sound, and it sounded so digital, mechanical, and weird. That's the only way I know how to describe it. It was very, very bizarre. Very bizarre. Definitely gave me the creeps when I heard it. It wasn't one of us. Nobody was laughing. In fact, I think we were all getting irritated that these two were like arguing back and forth. Some people believe in Bigfoot, some people believe in the paranormal. I respect whatever it is that you want to believe, right? It's not my place to tell anyone what's going on. You believe whatever the hell you want to, you know? That is the American way. But for myself, I don't believe in any of that stuff. Not until like something concrete is present. That is just how I see things, right? You do you, I'll do me. You believe what you want, I'll believe what I want. It's that simple. I hope this stuff is real, right? I hope that there really are mysterious elements out there at play. But are there? I don't know. What do you all think? Comment down below. This, everyone, is where I am sleeping at tonight. I have full protection overhead. I'm fairly protected from the wind. It is beginning to rain now. It is crazy light, but it's raining. I have been hearing some strange things. I can explain none of it. I don't know. I just don't know. I've never had anything strange happen here outside of hearing noises. But going out from this rock here, it's just not possible. It is way too wet, it is way too foggy, way too dangerous. One false step and you're sliding off of this rock here and you're going to die. So we do have to be careful, we do have to be smart. And the smart thing to do is to stay put. I went ahead, I put on my Swagman roll. Nice and cozy, warm, comfortable. Sitting in this chair really is not that bad. This is not the first time I've had to spend the night in a chair before. I wanted to basically do this tonight, right? Because we're at the Devil's Throne. If something's going to happen, I want to be alert enough to experience it. I don't want to be inside of a tent passed out cold like I usually am, you know? Most of the time, I sleep rather softly. If I hear something, I'll wake up, but, you know, during the course of the night, you do hit that point where you're just dreaming hard, or at least I am. I have crazy dreams, so, yeah. Anyways, my plan is just to sit here, see what happens, go with it. A little while ago, it was looking really, really nasty. Severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, all that stuff. what's coming our way does look pretty intense. The counties to the west of us, flash flood warning, tornado watch, flood watch. 8:45, a confirmed tornado was located over Winterboro. I don't even know where that's at. Never heard of it. Without a doubt, we have some strong storms coming this way. It's going to be an interesting night. Anyways, everyone, my plan is just to kick back, snooze a little bit if possible. It'll be possible. I could sleep in a chair. This may look uncomfortable. It's really not that bad. Not that bad at all. There's that noise again. Every time I hear it, it sounds like it's in a different place. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be coming any closer. Like when we were eating, it was pretty loud, but now it's fairly far off. And that makes it kind of strange, you know what I mean? I don't know. Everyone, I'm gonna turn the light out, kick back, relax, just listen to the wind. I will bring you all back as soon as something interesting happens. Folks, wish me luck with sleeping in this chair. I'll talk with you again soon. That noise is rather close now. I could be wrong, but it almost sounds like it is on top of this rock that we are underneath. Unfortunately, it is still so freaking foggy. I don't feel safe trying to exit this area right now. It's been a weird night, and it continues to get weirder. It is update time, my friends. It is roughly 2 o'clock in the morning. I just checked the radar, and the rain and the storms are getting very close. They should be here within the next hour or two at the latest. The night has been interesting. I snoozed about 20 minutes so far, but it's been difficult. I've just been hearing some weird stuff, like all over the place. Weird noises. I still have the feeling like I'm being watched, even though I really don't think that's the case. I think it's in my mind. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, you know? But without a doubt, there's something out there. Something making a racket, making a noise. And I'm not sure what it is that I'm hearing, but it just sounds so weird. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is about 4:30 and it is absolutely pouring out there. There is so much water pouring off this rock, coming down, hitting the ground. At any moment, the little stream that comes through here could begin. I've been dozing for about an hour, and what woke me up was the sound of the roaring wind. You can hear it. It's high level, high above this rock here, but it is roaring. My plan is to turn the light back off and try to get as much sleep as possible. Basically, try to rest until the sun comes up and then get up, make coffee, and all that stuff. Yeah. The storm is here, folks. It's here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We have made it through the night. We're dry, warm, and that's amazing because it was one wet, windy night. The entire area here is flooded. There's a stream of water coming through. More impressive than the rain last night was the wind. Around 5:30, 6 o'clock, it was on. I mean, it sounded like a freight train going through the forest. I mean, it really was something. At roughly 5:45, something like that, I received a text message from Susie saying that the power had gone out and that the winds were, quote, scary to her. It was intense out here, and we are at a lower elevation than at home. Hopefully the power's back on. I took a look at the outage map and it said 700 homes were without power in my area. Ultimately, last night, I want to say I rested for maybe 2 hours total, something like that. With this trip here, I accomplished exactly what I wanted. I wanted to come here to the Devil's Throne and I wanted to experience what it was like to camp out at it. I didn't really want to sleep. I wanted to be awake for anything that happened. Did anything happen? Yes and no. I heard a lot of weird stuff, but I didn't actually see anything. At one point in time, it sounded like something was on top of this rock. This forest has mysteries, and that's why it is called the Devil's Throne. That's why it has the history surrounding it that it does. So, ultimately, I've done what I wanted to do, wanted to accomplish here, and for now, I am done with this area. This is a really cool spot. One day, I will come back and I will do like a winter storm camp in this area. One day. Cheers, everyone. It's not all that cold. I want to say the temperature has actually gone up over the course of the night. I mean, it feels like 55 degrees, something like that. But it's chilly. It's chilly because of the wind, because of the moisture. You've been able to see on the camera here, like all of the moisture just flowing by. That soaks into everything. Everything is soaking wet. I put on my rain pants, you know, so they're dry and all that stuff. But there's like a level of dampness in everything. I want to say tomorrow night it's supposed to snow. And then after that, it's going to warm right back up. You know, folks, I'm ready to go home and take a nap. You know, sitting in this chair and snoozing on and off all night long, it's not bad. I promise you, it's better than it looks. It's more comfortable than it looks. But that doesn't mean I slept, right? I kind of dozed. It's not the same as like really resting. So I'm ready to hike off of this mountain, say goodbye to the Devil's Throne for a long period of time. I've done everything that I wanted to do up here. It's hard to believe, but I've been coming out here for over 3 years. 3 years, everyone. and I still have no idea what exactly is going on. The truth is, I doubt I will ever know. Some things are just a mystery, and I think that's how it's going to be here with the Devil's Throne. And that's okay. Not all mysteries need to be solved, right? We'll just let this one be. Everyone, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Also, make sure to check out my second YouTube channel, A Quiet Place Adventures. Every single week, a brand new adventure is posted there. Everyone, I'm tired. I'm glad I have this coffee, but I'm tired. I need to go home. Folks, I do appreciate you all. Strength and honor. Bye.